A new report says the soaring cost of Vancouver real estate will drive millennials out of the region, putting the city's long-term growth at risk. Greg Bunnell has the details. That's an interesting turn on that story.
And you would expect it, and it makes a lot of sense because we keep talking about the soaring prices there. RBC puts out its affordability report twice a year, keeps saying in Vancouver, the least affordable city in Canada. Now, Van City Credit Union does a lot of work on the Vancouver real estate side, saying you can expect labor shortages in the city over the next 10 years if things continue as they are, because people are just seeing their salaries fall further and further behind the cost of living, the cost of real estate in that city. The report is called Help Wanted, Salaries, Affordability, and the Labor Exodus in Metro Vancouver. So this is what the report found. They said if the trend continues, by 2025, households are going to need $126,000 in annual income to be able to live in the Metro Vancouver area. So the people they say that can actually afford to work and live in the city in the next 10 years, senior business, construction, and engineering managers. That's only three. They say there's the only three that are going to be able to afford to buy real estate and live in the city. Out are police officers, firefighters, civil engineers, electricians, general practitioners, and a whole host of people basically saying they won't be able to afford to live in the city if things keep going the way they are. And the imbalance, they argue, is going to start driving millennials out of the city. Actually, I started tweeting out some of the finer points of this report earlier. A young woman got in touch with me over Twitter. She grew up in Vancouver. She's now a lawyer, a corporate lawyer in London and Britain. And she said when she was home in April, most of her millennial friends were telling her that they have a 3 to 5 year plan to get out of the city for this very reason. They just don't see how they can afford to live there. The report found that between 2001 and 2014, underscoring that report, housing costs increased a whopping 63% over the same time period. Incomes increased just 36%. And their forecast at Van City is that Vancouver housing costs are going to rise about 5% a year. Salaries only in a range between 0.6 and 3.2% growth, so still falling further and further behind.
So these workers, how is Vancouver going to stem the flow? And where are they going? Are they going to Richmond? Are they going to Burnaby? Or are they going to Calgary?
Either move, yeah. You get out of Metro Vancouver, or if you still want an urban lifestyle. And the report argues that a lot of people want to live and work in the same area and not do what I do, come in on a train every day for an hour. So they're fearing that they're just going to get out of Vancouver altogether and the area. Some of their recommendations, they say that you should provide rental housing tax incentives, basically so builders and developers will see it just as lucrative to build rental units as they will see building condominiums, renew land leases for existing affordable housing developments, incentivize or require employers to develop workforce housing. This is where some of the ideas start getting outside the box. You wonder how the business community would react to that. Also saying employers should pay a living wage and provide flexible benefits to bring household incomes and expenses into greater alignment with real estate in that city. Bottom line, Van City basically says more and more people want to live in the communities, and if they can't afford to do so, they're just going to look elsewhere.
Crazy story. Greg Bunnell, thank you very much on the Housing File.